Welcome, and thank you for listening. For our final project, we are tasked with interviewing a CIO. The CIO is the Chief Information Officer of an organization. This interview is for the final project in the course IS 8090 for Kennesaw State University, spring semester 2020, and is being presented to you by James Sherrill, Tori Shunk, and Terry Theodore. In this interview, we will be speaking to the CIO of a major banking institution. The interview will be covering the following items: the company's history with a brief overview of the merger and operations, the background of the CIO and their current responsibilities, the current and future technology being implemented, decisions being made, including risk assessment, technology and corporate strategy, priorities, cost versus profits, and customer expectations. Along with the items listed, we also learned about the company's foundation pillars and cost reduction strategies, including the CRMs they are using. The CIO we interviewed worked for Truist Financial Corporation, a newly merged financial organization which was established through a merger between BB&T and SunTrust Bank in 2019. BB&T Bank, originally known as Branch and Hadley and established in 1872, signed a joint merger with SunTrust Bank, which was established in 1891 as the Commercial Travelers Savings Bank. This merger between BB&T and SunTrust, now named Truist Financial, made the group the sixth largest financial service holding company globally. Between the two, there is over 275 years experience, creating a $28 billion merger value. The merger was a 2-year transaction and is expected to reduce costs by $1.6 billion annually. Truist Financial's corporate office is located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and serves 10 million households throughout the nation. Truist Financial offers services for retailers, small businesses, and commercial banking. They also perform services for asset management, commercial real estate, insurance services, mortgage lending, and wealth management. All of these services are provided as part of a combined effort of the two financial institutions' merger, making Truist Financial a major player globally in banking institutions. Our interviewee was Dan Massey, the division CIO who holds the title of EVP, the Executive Vice President of Enterprise Technology and Strategic Services. Upon his first 21-year tenure with the company, Dan's responsibilities included running operations, P&L, which is profit and losses, underwriting, marketing, and analytics. Dan eventually moved positions and began tackling more of the technical side of things, like digital channel implementation, product management, and became the Chief Technology Officer in control of digital payments. This also included setting up the infrastructure for enterprise architectural, technical, strategy, and design functions. Dan's current responsibilities has changed since the merger. He is currently responsible for the technical strategy and enterprise architecture. Along with the stated responsibilities, Dan is also responsible for servicing APIs, which is Applications Programming Interface. These are systems that allow software to define how components or systems use it. Processes and methodology, financial controls, analytic reporting, and not to mention team and senior leadership engagement are also part of Dan's responsibilities. Naturally, merging two financial institutions is no small task. Due to the merger, Dan's position has required more of him. He is tasked with coordinating a far more robust system that requires him to integrate tools from both financial institutions. Planning and software development has placed a tremendous demand on his job. This integration will require many resources and planning. The plans involve developing organizational structures, defining the architectural state, deciding which applications shall they select and how to integrate the human resource departments. But mostly, Truett Financial must develop a strategy to seamlessly convert clients from two separate institutions into one customer, while maintaining a good relationship during this critical time with this pandemic. During the interview, Dan asserted some of their key pillars that are attributed to their success and what the state of their future is in technology. He presented to us a concept which they call T3. It indicates that technology plus touch equals trust. Truist Financial believes that the combination of leading with technology, they will be able to touch the people and gain their trust. But more importantly, the touch part of their pillar refers to their commitment to the people. Dan explained that their main focus is on presenting technology solutions to their clients and not just technology for the sake of being flashy. He broke down their information system strategy, which was make lives better and identify your targeted market. Dan also explained that all of their technology has to be functionable, scalable, and operational while maintaining low cost. Some of their core projects involve the following: mass data collection, which in effect means knowing more information about the customer. This will enable technology to further assist the client and in essence become a technical solution. AI, or artificial intelligence, which allows machine learning to further enhance the customer or client's experience. Real-time payments, a system that is very much like the payment system used between family and friends, that will allow the banker to make real-time transactions that no longer require a clearing time. And finally, digital experience, which are enhanced graphical user interfaces that will give the customer a more intuitive approach to banking with less need for person-to-person interaction. When it comes to making decisions on what type of technology Dan and his group will implement, Dan referred us to the concept of strategic sourcing, which he refers to as an institutional procurement process that continuously improves and reevaluates the purchasing activities of a company. Dan also informed us about the Enterprise Architectural Council, a group of specialists that are made up of domain working groups who evaluate the tech requirements versus the attributes. This group goes through vigorous approval processes to ensure that the benefit of the customer is met. Dan provided us with an 8-step guide to making decisions. These decisions he called the architectural tenets, and they are as follows. Own the client's experience, meaning no outsourcing. Own the client's relationship by eliminating third parties. Enable innovations by having testing and learning mentality. Design for security by providing the highest level of privacy while maintaining seamless operations. Integrate with APIs. Optimize or make good use of your infrastructure by using cloud strategies. Design for reliability. And finally, always maintain availability to the customer. The following slide shows the CIO's risk assessment strategy. Prior to moving forward with implementation of any new technology, a risk assessment will be performed. The group that is responsible for this is called the Risk Assessment Partners, or Risk Partners for short. Here are their 4 layers of assessment. The first line, or initial review process, followed by the second line, which is simply the oversight process that allows them to see the scope of work. Then comes the audit function, which is basically a secondary oversight of the scope of work. And finally, regulators, an external oversight of the technology, which is simply getting an opinion from the external view. The following slide shows the decision-making matrix. It breaks down the departmental structure, starting with the divisional CIO, down to the CIO, and from there, it separates amongst the rest of the group. These are the people that are in charge of making the decisions on what type of technology will be implemented for Truist Financial. It is safe to say that Dan and his group showed that they are very capable and have a great strategic plan for the future. Decisions are made with the customers being first, while their knowledge of the technology and how they can implement it is clear and concise. When applying technology to any business, it is important that you understand if whether the technology is in alignment with the corporate strategy. This technology must align with the company's focus in order to achieve the desired results and provide benefits to the customer. For Truist Financial, these areas include new emerging technologies, large strategic impact, substantial investments, and debatable technologies. Dan stressed how important it was to not put the cart in front of the horse. He explained that the corporate strategy was not to enable technology, but instead the technology was used to enable the corporate strategy. When asked what were the top three priorities for the year, Dan replied with managing risks, keeping track of the progress on the merger, and meeting financial commitments. Naturally, being the CIO, Dan explained that their main concerns were with cybersecurity and system availability. Most CIOs would share the same priorities, but when dealing with banking institutions, it becomes an even bigger priority to protect people's information. The merger, on the other hand, has created a newly found obstacle for Dan. Having to understand another bank's systems and having to integrate them with your current system is a big task within itself. And finally, when it comes to meeting financial commitments, Dan's budget is broken down to 75% operating costs and 25% investment costs, with the investment being mostly in cyber capabilities, data, digital, and payments. As we are becoming a more technologically dependent society, it is quite interesting to find out how technology is being viewed by companies. When we asked Dan if technology is seen as a cost center or as a profit center, his responses were as expected. Although IT is viewed currently as a cost center, it is slowly shifting to a profit center, and this is apparent by the amount of applications and online banking that we view today. But Dan also explained that a major contributing factor to the merger was how he was allowed a bigger budget to put towards technology. Apparently, the merger became not only a heavier workload, but it also contributed to more financial support for IT systems. Meeting the customer's expectation is not only a complex one, but it is also a moving target. When asked, how is this achieved? Dan's response as the CIO was a very interesting one. He explained how acquiring talent was not only the best approach, but it was also their biggest asset. Attracting good talent and creativity, being purpose-driven, and the use of tools such as AI, microservices, and cybersecurity are just some of the key points he noted. But Dan also brought to us a concept he called experience design component. Apparently, banking institutions are trying to get away from IDs and passwords and convert to a durable data API. Durable Data API is an industry-wide working group where financial services are sharing information to try and use one standard that will allow easier integration between banking. Here are the 6 foundation pillars that Dan refers to as their tenets that keeps the group on track. Complete merger integration. This is on top of their list because it has become the company's #1 priority. Manage risk, which has everything to do with not only cybersecurity, but mitigating their cost. Develop next-generation software and architecture. This is essential in order to stay ahead of the competition, and that includes systems such as microservicing, cloud computing, and containers. Step up value stream data. Run IT as a business using agile methodology, continuous engineering, and cost transparency. And once again, attracting and retaining new talent, which Dan believes is the way to stay ahead of the competition. When running a business, there are 2 ways to increase profit. One is either by selling more product or services, and the other is to reduce costs. When we asked Dan what was his sustainable cost reduction strategy, he referenced efficiency reductions, and they were directly related to the merger. Because there are 2 entities becoming one, Dan stressed how they were able to choose the better of each department, which in turn reduced their costs. Along with efficiency reductions, Dan mentioned automation as a cost reduction strategy. This included lease management, testing, lower error rates, and higher quality. As an added bonus, we thought it would be interesting to ask Dan what are their current CRM systems that they are using. Dan informed us that they are currently using Salesforce and that Salesforce is being used to support the following: external clients, commercial banking, investment banking, private wealth, and retail. This concludes our interview with the CIO of a major banking institution in America. We hope that you've enjoyed. Thank you.